Now let's go back to the UV layout and just first import the bin. Let's start to cut it. So we need to cut the inside part out, so I'm just going to cut it. I'm just going to flatten it in the UV view. Probably would be better if the whole thing is, the bottom thing is a whole circle. It won't be visible because it's from the inside, so it doesn't matter. I'm going to rearrange it a little bit. Now let's cut this top part and then one more time in the middle. Hit D, cut all of those. Also you can try cut it that way. The front part hanging at the end. Trying flattening it with Shift and F. It doesn't work quite right, so probably I'm going to cut those two pieces separately. So this flattens much better. And now if I tap I 2 times, this will select the whole edge loop, and if I tap I once, this will select the separate edge. Tapping I and selecting edges, this will give us a nice straight edge when we try to flatten the whole thing. So if we select all the edges, outer edges with this I and pin them, and then we try to flatten them, you can see that we have now straight edges. And if you want to remove those edges, you can just hit Ctrl and I, and this will remove those edges. Just rearranging it a little bit. Probably will try to pin the edges again. Double tap the I. I'm going to also select the inside loops, and I'm going to hold F, and this flattens just almost perfectly. And then hitting Ctrl and I to deselect those edges, and I'm going to save it as bin import. So let's load the fence pole, and let's start separating the pieces. So I'm going to separate those rings, just hitting enter to separate them, and this one, yeah, let's back a little bit. I selected the wrong edge. Yeah, that's better. So let's separate those rings from the main base of the pole. Now let's separate the bottom cap, and now just cut those cylinders in the middle. Now let's put all the pieces inside the UV editor in the UV screen. Just tap D on all the pieces, go to the UV view, now let's start flattening all of those. So hold F to flatten the main part, and we can try again selecting off the edges with the eye, but that doesn't seem to work too well. So let's just back a little bit, probably trying shift and F flattening, and that works much better. So I'm going to try double tap I again, just to select the outer edges only this time. And yeah, this works much better than selecting all of the edges, all of the edge loops. So I'm going to continue doing the same with all of those. Just flatten it a little bit, then pin the edges, and then flatten a little bit more to get a straight UVs. Let's flatten this one. We have 2 more rings. Let's pin the edges on those also and flatten them a little bit more. Control and I to deselect, and let's select the outer edges of the second ring. So that flattens a little bit more difficult than the other ones, but at the end it comes out okay. So I have 2 more parts to flatten. So there is visible problem with this one, so let's bring it back to the editing view, hold Shift and D, let's try. It seems that it's cut it in the middle, but there still seems to be some kind of a problem. I'm just trying to pin the edges now, see if it will work. Yeah, obviously I haven't separated the edges, although it seemed that it was. So yeah, let's cut that in half and just pin the borders. And flatten it. So let's move all those into position. But